Hi everybody, welcome to MJ Hobby Corner. I am Julie, the trusty sidekick, and next to me, of course, is MJ.
Hello everyone.
So thanks for joining us. We want to welcome all new subscribers. At time of filming, we are at 1,300. So we're really excited about that. We appreciate all of you so much, all of your support in helping the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you do that, because that's how you become part of our corner crew. And the corner crew is the coolest. So if you want to be the coolest, just hit that subscribe button. So what's up, MJ? How you doing?
Oh, just relaxing, I guess. A very busy week. A very busy week. And I also want to thank our patrons. Thank you for your support on Patreon. Really appreciate you. And yeah, so let's get right to it, because we have some stuff to show you guys.
Do it.
Now, MJ Hobby Talk, for those of you that don't know, it's just our little, very informal, kind of chatty little discussion for the channel. And it gives you guys updates. And it also shows some scratch builds. It'll give you updates on games. Sometimes we'll do faction talks as part of the MJ Hobby Talk. So, you know, it's just a little update for the channel.
Just a little casual way,
way of chatting with you guys.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Now, this is the second time we've done this week, right? We tried to film this. Actually, we more than tried. We filmed the whole thing. It turned out well. It was a good chat. Things were great. And then we found out that there was no audio. So that was frustrating.
the mic, one of those mics is not working well or whatever. And so, yeah, we recorded the whole chat. And then all of a sudden, when I went to edit, it's like there's no sound. There's no way of getting sound back to it. So we just did it over. And, you know, it's okay, because it gave me the chance to finish the scratch build. Not finish, but really get the scratch builds that I wanted to show.
True. Yeah.
Looking better, at least with coats of base coats of paint and everything. So, you know, it worked out.
And we're working on getting better audio.
Yeah, we're working on getting better audio, better equipment, hopefully.
We'll get there.
So we'll get there in time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to it, because we have a lot to show you guys.
All right, so updates on
games. Yes. Well, I have Anthems of War set up on in the studio. It's going to be a little bit warm this week. So we'll take advantage of that and play in the studio. And of course, the polls, Frostgrave is the winner for first place.
That's exciting.
So we'll be playing Frostgrave. I'm not sure if we're going to do Frostgrave this weekend. We're going to try and film it this weekend, because the month is already. So we'll try to filming Frostgrave this week.
Right.
But in the meantime, tomorrow, we're going to do our first game of Anthems of War by Sentient Robot. This is a very clever rule system. Julie's going to be doing her first game. I already played one for the channel, and I've played a couple ever since that. And so Julie and I are going to do a two-player. And I think this is where the rules are really going to shine. And it'll give me a break, because when you're playing solo with that game, there's a lot to keep track of.
Sure, yeah.
The author did mention that there will be a solo rules and solo AI, but that's in the future sometime. So we'll keep up to date with that.
Definitely, but I'm really looking forward to playing it.
Yeah. I think you're going to like the whole character creation process. And it's not a difficult game to learn, really. It does have a lot of detail, because it's an RPG style game. So it'll be your elves, I think, versus my lizardmen.
Woo!
And that's the table. The table that I just showed you guys is the table that we have for Anthems of War. That'll be filmed tomorrow, hopefully.
That will be fun.
Yep, it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll be busy creating characters.
Yeah, and I like doing that.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. So next up is 2-hour war games.
2-hour war games, we want to bring in a two-player game. I want to have one of each kind of game for 2-hour war games. Solo, co-op. We already did solo and co-op. I want to do a two-player. And we'll choose, maybe we'll put it up for vote. I don't know. Or we'll decide, Julie and I will decide a game that we want to play in 2 hour war games and play it 2-player. I really want to experience the system in 2-player. And it'll be Julie versus me.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're going to do sword play or if we're going to do 5150. I don't know. We'll let you guys know as soon as we know better. So that's it for 2 hour war games. More 2 hour war games coming. I'm also setting up a couple of solo games as well. So.
And we'll be doing a Reaper Warlord rematch.
Reaper Warlord. Now, I know that Reaper, there are some Reaper Warlord people on the channel, some people that have expressed interest in some Reaper Warlord games. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a rematch, Julie's Elves against my Revan. This time I'm bringing Revan into the mix. So, we're going to try out Revan. And I have some models chosen for it. And who knows, we might have an unboxing. I know I said this before.
Right.
If I can, I'll try to get some Reaper figures to fill in some of my lists.
Well, I'll be changing my elves, too.
What are you doing?
I'm doing the Dark Elves.
You're doing Dark Elves. That's right. Dark Reach. She has her new Dark Reach list.
Yes, I do.
Oh, so it's going to be 2 different armies. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Our first game, we played Nefzelkar versus Elves in the desert. And if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. There's a playlist for Reaper Warlord. And that's where all that content will go in. So we'll see who wins.
Yeah, this should be fun. Because now I'm doing the Savage North. So
yeah, and this is a rematch. So
because he kicked my butt.
I kicked her butt. I did.
He did. He kicked it good.
Nefzelkar is a tough faction.
Very.
Really is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So.
But that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. So any Reaper Warlord people, if you want to put your comments, like give her ideas on her Dark Reach. We wanted to get out her Dark Reach, her little
video.
Yeah,
I'm still going to be working on that.
Yeah, but that's where you guys can put some comments if you want.
Absolutely, I welcome that. Yeah.
Or under this video, some suggestions for figures and like actually some suggestions for units.
Yeah.
For the warband.
And I'll share the warband that I put together with you, and then you can tell me what you think. And give me suggestions or, whatever.
Yeah,
I would appreciate that a lot.
We are working on that video, and then that's a good chance if anyone has played Reaper Warlord or knows the factions, and you know of a good unit for her warbands, either Dark Reach or Elves, whatever it is, definitely let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, moving on then.
Okay, well, let's talk about Scratch Builder Monthly.
Scratch Builder Monthly. All right, this is the meat of the show.
Yes.
All right, so Scratch Builder Monthly, as you guys know, is on Wargames Vault. It is my monthly publication about scratch building, and in it, I throw in a couple of projects, main projects, and then I throw in a few extra things, and it's magazine style. And it's been doing well on Wargames Vault.
Yes, it has.
I'm very pleased, and
it's exciting.
I'm not sure if there are any of you here in the channel who has purchased it, but I'm very grateful.
Yeah, thank you if that's the case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there are several little publications called Scratch Builder Shorts, which are one project issues.
Right.
And I'm going to color code these a different color from Scratch Builder Monthly. Scratch Builder Monthly, the cover changes color every month. And then we have Scratch Builder Shorts, which I have as like the little blue covers. And so these are single projects, simpler projects, sometimes not so simple, but just single projects. So for people that are just interested in one thing, you can go for those.
Right.
And then people that want to have more, there's a Scratch Builder Monthly, which goes a little more in depth into everything. So I am currently working on November.
Right.
Now, the big news about that is that I am starting a couple new projects. I have a sculpture.
Careful. That
we just did.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yeah, sculpture. We just did this for Patreon. Now, my sculpture videos are all moving to Patreon, most of them. You guys will see the finished product here on YouTube, and you'll see them in action on the tabletop. But the how-to is in my Patreon.
And you had your patrons pick the head, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, my patrons, I gave them a little poll and said, what kind of head do you want on the figure? Gave them a little list of possible head types. And they chose the devil ray. So that's why,
so cool.
Yeah, that's why the creature has like a devil ray kind of head. So I'm thinking of calling this the Reef Devil.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, the Reef Devil.
Reef Devil, I like it.
It's a giant, it's a massive war beast for those underwater games. And this is Julie's figure.
Yay, I get all the cool stuff. I do, I get all the cool stuff.
All the cool stuff to beat me with.
Lucky girl.
Yeah. So this is, I mention it in Scratchbuilder Monthly, but all the videos for how I make these sculptures, they're all going to Patreon. So my patrons will get to vote on the figures, what figures I sculpt next, and all that. And we're going to be learning together. I'm not a professional. This is all hobby sculpting. From a hobbyist to hobbyists. So
you may not be a professional, but it's pretty damn good stuff. I mean, look at it.
Yeah, well, as long as you like it.
You would buy this in a store.
Yeah, well, I used to sell my sculptures a while back. I used to do a lot of dog memorials for people and wildlife art, and I used to sell that stuff. So I do have some experience in sort of the marketing of these things. But again, you know, as a war gamer, this is just something I like to do. I like to sculpture and use them in my games.
Yeah, it's really cool. And you're good at teaching people how to do it, too. I think the how-tos that you do, you're a natural at it, in my opinion.
So basically, if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you want to support us on Patreon, then sculptures, that's something that patrons get as bonus videos. So,
and they get Scratchbuilder Monthly too. It's not the same one that you put up.
Right, they do get a version of Scratchbuilder Monthly as well. So now I started a new project, sculpting starships with clay, and these will be for wargaming. And this is a battle cruiser, this first prototype. This is also going on both on Patreon, how I build them. That's going to be the next video that my patrons will get to see. And we'll talk about how these are made. And then I will have Scratchbuilder Monthly issues that also show these starships and how to make starships out of clay. And we're going to move on from starships to mechs to tanks to whatever comes into our head, but it'll be with clay. Okay, so this is another building material. And for those that are interested in clay work, this might be something, if you like starship games or if you just want to make them as displays, whatever. You know,
it's really cool.
You like it?
I really, really do, yes.
We're going to work on many different designs because this project's very young. And I'm really liking the way these starships are really hard if you touch them.
Yeah.
If you touch them, it's very, the clay hardens very, very well. This is baking clay, by the way, Sculpte Firm, which is their strongest line. So
it's fun to watch them evolve as you sculpt.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't know how most people in the past have told me they like the step-by-step breakup of the sculpture so that you see it as this little tinfoil thing and then it grows and grows and becomes, you know, something else.
Yeah, I think that's the best part of it.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, and that's the only way to really show, you know, what you're doing. So from beginning to end. So for anyone interested, Patreon. That's where you'll find all this stuff and Scratchbuilder Monthly on Wargames Vault.
That's right. We have some other things to show here, too. We've got lots of goodies here on the desk.
Let's move on to cardboard builds.
Let's do it.
All right.
So the card, what did you call it?
Card
Wars.
Card Wars, yes. Card Wars instead of Star Wars. Yeah.
Right.
It's Card Wars.
Let's start with the top downs.
Top downs. All right. So top downs, I made 2 whole fleets, one for the Rebel Alliance, which will be Julie, and one for me. I played a couple of solo games to test them out. Then Julie and I are going to have a 2-player game with the top downs. Now, in Scratchbuilder Monthly, this issue that's coming, November, we show one of the top downs being built.
Which one?
It's going to be the Acclimator.
Okay.
Okay, and so this one is shown in ScratchBuilder Monthly. It's a simple build, and top downs are great for simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
You can build one whole fleet in an afternoon, and then, as long as it's not too big.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I show how to make it, it's very three-dimensional. So the markers do look three-dimensional, even though they're not.
They do. They do. And when you have the whole board with the top downs, with the terrain and the vehicles,
right,
it's really awesome.
Yeah, it becomes more interesting. Yeah, with the terrain and with all, and we use the top downs the way you would use any miniatures, by measuring, and that's it. And you need stat cards, which I show how I make them. I think I showed an example in ScratchBuilder Monthly that's coming this November. There's an example of one of the stat cards. We're going to start including that into the magazine, how I make stat cards for these things as well. So
yeah. Something else I was going to say about them. Oh, it's something different.
Yes.
It's nice, to change it up and not always have the same sort of thing.
Right, and these are based on Star Wars, so I had to do a lot of research, and I'm learning so much about Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was never really a
big
Star Wars fan, but I always liked their ships. I love their ships. And some of the storylines, some of the novels that I've read. And I was looking into Star Wars Legion, and that when we show the 3D ones that I'm going to show now, Star Wars Legion is where I took most of my inspiration. Awesome stuff. Like some really cool... I didn't know there were so many Star Destroyers either. There's so many different kinds of Star Destroyers, and
you kind of fell down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it was like
into that.
Yeah, it was like that, and so I think I'm gonna be mentioning a little bit of that as well in the magazine.
So let's talk about the 3D.
Three-dimensional ones. So which one should we do first?
Oh, they're all so very cool. Let's do this one.
All right, so we'll do the starships first, and then we'll move on to ground forces.
That sounds good.
All right, so the first starship in line is the Acclimator. Okay.
So awesome here.
And you can hold that. Now you can see that it's a pretty tough build. The cardboard's nice and sturdy. And I use a rubber magnet. These I bought in Walmart. And you just drill right through them. They're rubbery. Excellent for holding the ship. Excellent. I use that in the clay ship as well because it really stabilizes it.
Where did you get that idea?
I just made it up because I needed something to stand it.
How you do that?
And I thought about the magnets. So I said, let me try a magnet. And then I drilled it. I drilled a hole through it because it was soft. And then when I put the little cocktail stick through it, lo and behold, it held really nicely.
Brilliant.
That's it. I got my stand for...
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's such a cool looking ship.
Yeah, now
I really like
these are military transport vessels for the Imperial, for the Empire. And they carry things like vehicles and troops and all that to planets.
My hand's shaking.
A very cool build, and this is a one-day build. I built this in 1 day, few hours, not very difficult.
Now the difference, though, between how long it takes you to do the top downs versus the 3D is a big difference.
Huge.
Right?
I can make one top down in like 15 minutes or even 20 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and one of these 3D ones take at least 2 hours, if not more, depending on the build. So
yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
What are we going to look at next?
The Onager.
All right.
My favorite Star Destroyer. Now, some of you there is a ScratchBuilder Monthly, a single project issue on this model, how I built it. And this is one of my favorite Star Destroyers. I mean, this thing is just cool. It has a weapon of mass destruction right in the middle there. It shoots it and it's designed to destroy big targets and even capital ships, other capital ships. So it's a pretty powerful Imperial weapon.
Yeah, it's cool. I like how it looks like a hammerhead shark in the there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So.
And I like the design that you've chosen for them too. I think that looks really cool. Now, I love this one.
All right.
I
Well,
think
now
that is pretty awesome.
now we move to the Rebel Alliance, and this is a Nebulon B escort frigate. Frigate.
I love that.
And here you can
frigate.
hold that. Now, this one required 2 stands because of the shape of the ship. Very bizarre ship.
I love the engine.
Yep.
Very cool.
Very bizarre ship.
Yeah.
And that ship is a modeler's dream. If you are a scratch builder and you like to model things, the challenge to make that is there because it has so many parts, you know. It's such a complex superstructure.
The way it's layered.
The way it's layered, right. And that's the other thing is I use a technique I call layering, and that's how I make these 3D models, by layering. You're basically sandwiching layers of cardboard in the shapes that you want.
And it's really cool to see it while you're doing it, you know, in progress.
Yeah, Julie spies on me sometimes.
I do. I do. It's true.
So that's the Nebulon B frigate. Now it's pretty big. Not to scale because a Star Destroyer is really massive.
I think you should do that one of these days.
Make like a scale.
Yeah.
The Nebulon B frigate would be like really small. So.
But no, make the big one.
Make the big.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of making a Super Star Destroyer, which would be ridiculously big in this scale. It would be like ridiculously big.
So cool.
But yeah, it would be kind of cool to like game and have the Star Destroyer as like your table and your little ships are flying over it.
Tell them, guys. Tell them in the comments that that's what you should do.
No, don't get me into another project. I have so many. No, I will. And if I build a Super Star Destroyer, it's going to be the Eclipse. I like the Eclipse.
Okay.
And I think I showed you it.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
It has a really bizarre front and then a super weapon, one of the super lasers mounted in the front. So yeah.
Very cool.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, so let's move on to the walkers. Is that
the walkers, ground forces. All right, first things first is the AT-AT.
So cool, the AT-AT.
So we have a cardboard AT-AT. Now this is a cardboard / clay hybrid.
That's cool.
I will be writing up this project. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it as a single. It might be a single Scratch Builder monthly. And there will be some stuff on it on Patreon as well. But this is one of my AT-ATs. Now, this is one scale. I may make a bigger one because when I show you guys the next walkers, we're going to need bigger AT-ATs.
This is cool, though. I like his feet.
Yes. Yeah, very sturdy feet because I used wood for the feet. For the feet, it's those craft sticks. You get those.
Yeah, like popsicle sticks.
Yeah, like the popsicle sticks. That's what I use for the legs. And very sturdy. Very sturdy construction. And everything is created by sandwiching layers of cardboard, what I call layering. And that's it.
And you said this, though, has clay. It's a hybrid.
This one has clay for like the turrets here on the cheek. It has clay details. Anything that's round, I used clay. Cable ties for the little vents.
Okay.
You know?
I like the head, too. I like the way you did
the shape of the head. Well,
the shape is cool.
Yeah, they have really interesting shaped heads, the AT-ATs, and that's where the pilots are. Okay. So, and then the troops are carried in there, and they also carry speeder bikes, which I never knew. They have a garage for speeder bikes, and so they can carry a small speeder bike unit. That's cool as shit.
That's very cool.
So, AT-ATs, we are hoping to have a Battle of Hoth or something like that with AT-ATs. So
AT-ATs, I can't get over that. That's funny, AT-AT.
And there's so many of them. When I was looking through the lore, I mean, there's AT-ATs, there's AT-CTs, which are a bigger version, but they're for transporting cargo. And in the Battle of Scarif, if you've ever seen Rogue One, they actually come out. And I didn't know that. You know, I thought they were regular AT-ATs. No, they're a different kind of AT-AT.
Okay.
So, very interesting.
It is interesting. Now, these little guys.
The little guys! The babies! the AT-AT gave birth.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
AT-STs, or all-terrain scout transports.
Okay.
And these are, of course, in the Battle of Endor and the Battle of Hoth, and in many battles, these are very iconic. Just like more for attack and scouting missions,
Right.
but they do use them in sort of offensive.
Okay.
Like in Hoth, for example, they would support the troops and stuff, depending on the lore that you're looking at, you know. But in the video games, you often see these guys like supporting the troops as the AT-ATs are coming behind, you know.
Gotcha. Okay.
So now these are about 2 inches tall. They each took about 3.5 hours to make.
I was going to ask you that. Okay, that's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, because these are very small parts. These are a little bit more advanced. They're not hard to make, but it's the parts are so small. So I'm using tweezers and clay. These are also clay hybrids.
All right. I see.
And they have wire in them, so their legs are very sturdy. So I show that in this month's edition of Scratch Builder Monthly for November. One of the builds is the AT-ATs. So.
In the Scratch Builder Monthly, in both of them, like in both versions, the patron version and the Wargame version.
In both versions.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or one of the other. I don't know which of the builds I'm going to put in yet. It's probably going to be the AT-AT, and then for the Patreon version, and the other one, the Wargames Vault version, since it's more robust, it'll have the top downs and the AT-AT as a build, you know.
Now, I have a question. Which one was your favorite to build?
That's an interesting question. I think for me, the AT-AT was probably my favorite. I love the whole walking, the whole idea of walkers.
I'm not surprised that you would say that because walkers, that's like your thing.
Yeah.
You love walkers.
I love walkers and mechs and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So when we do the clay starships, after we do the clay starships that I'm working on, we're going to move on to probably mechs or something. So, yeah. Yeah, I think the AT-ATs were my favorite.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Such cool machines, you know, in my opinion. But I like the starships, and we do have templates for new Star Destroyers that are coming, and these are bigger. These are bigger, to be a little bit bigger, more with scale with some of these three-dimensional things that I have.
Very cool.
Yes, and we may have some X-Wing fighters and other things coming in the future. Again, Julie and I will be battling in space.
Ooh, battle in space. Sounds good to me.
A lot of starships coming, that's for sure. If you like starship building, tank building. By the way, I did meet someone new, and I will be checking out your channel in case he's watching. But he is a tank builder, and I want to learn more about what he does, and definitely give him a shout out.
I was going to say, give him a shout out. Do you remember?
I believe it was Christopher, if I'm not. He's a tank builder, and he does cardboard tanks. You know, one of my old cardboard tank builds. It was one of my older ones, the really big one that I did.
I remember. Yeah.
Attracted his attention. So I want to check out his work, and we'll give you a shout out. I like to give shout outs to other builders as well. Because, I mean, it's our community, you know. I use my stuff mostly for wargaming. I don't know. I think he builds for display. I'm not sure. But, either way, it's a fellow builder. So.
Nice.
Great.
Well, that's it then, I guess, right?
Yes, I think we talked enough, and I wanted to show you guys. I was very excited to show all these things. If you want to help us out, check out Patreon, check out Wargames Vault, and
share.
And share, yes, please share.
Share the stuff. I don't know, the whatever.
Yeah, the photos and the videos and everything. You can share all that stuff.
You know somebody that might like it, you know. And Christmas is coming too, so you never know. If you know somebody on your list that would be interested in something like that.
In scratch building or modeling. It's really scratch modeling because it goes beyond. I will be putting some terrain stuff on Scratch Builder Monthly as well. Terrain is a big part of it as well, but it's mostly building models, you know, of things, of vehicles and things. So And sculptures. There will be a section for sculptures.
You'll be doing stories too at some point, right?
In the future, maybe some fluff, yeah. But right now, I'm kind of just getting my focus on the builds and how to write them up. And I'm kind of still kind of learning my way through that process, you know, to how to order the photographs and write them all up and, you know, so.
Yeah, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time.
It takes time. It's a lot of time and effort.
A lot of work.
But we're getting there.
It.
Scratch Builder Monthly in November should be out hopefully by next week. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
That sounds good. And my video on the Reaper Warlord Savage North, let's shoot for that coming out before we play the game.
Yeah, Reaper Warlord will probably be after Dragon Rampant. Because people voted on, what was it, Frostgrave and then Dragon Rampant. So we'll be playing those two games. That's our priority. And then we have a couple of games in between. So Anthems of War tomorrow and then probably Reaper Warlord somewhere in between there, you know.
And last year we ended up playing a game on my birthday, remember?
Yes, that's right.
And my birthday's coming up, so maybe we
can do a birthday game for her.
A bonus birthday game.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be fun, yeah.
And dress her up as something, you know.
Maybe wear a crown or a tiara. I'll be the princess
we'll do something.
for the day, right?
Yeah, we'll do something. She'll definitely beat my ass that day.
I'm the princess every day, though, truthfully.
All right, let's go before this gets crazy.
Too out of hand.
Yeah.
Oh, the shenanigans.
Oh, the shenanigans. All right, folks. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Thank you for watching. Short little chats to update you guys and let you know what's going on in the studio and show you all these scratch builds. So stay tuned. I'll post when November issue of Scratch Builder Monthly is up, and we'll continue building. So happy wargaming and happy building.
Like and subscribe and share, and be happy and healthy. Take care, everybody.
We'll see you soon.
Be safe.
In the next video. Have a good one.